What's up, guys? Okay, we got heaps to get through, so I'm gonna get straight into it. So, ACL bearings have come in. I got these from a company called Golby's Parts. They are in Toowoomba, which is Queensland, pretty sure. Anyway, they have a huge amount of parts on their site. My mate Dean told me to hit them up. So, oh, this could be a problem. I'm hoping they're all the same, but one of them says RB30. Geez, I really hope the bearings are the same for 25, 26, and 30. Oh no, they would be. Yeah, for the crank. And then these would be for the rods. Yeah. So no, should be all good. So I got them from Golby's. They actually express the freight as well, which is a bonus. So I come here on time. But the biggest surprise is this one, guys. The G-Force parts. They have rocked up quicker than anything else from America. Not only are they a freaking amazing gearbox, they're a bloody good company. Right. One box out of the big box. What else we got here? Oh, Jesus. We have an envelope. Don't know what that's about. Uh-oh. Holy crap, all that. That whole box. Just for this. Okay, just so you guys know the exact prices. So I got a input faceplate. So that's 120 US. The GSR slider, that's $160. And then a heavy duty 2-piece faceplate is 120. It's exciting. God damn, they look good, don't they? So that is a brand new, I'm gonna have to find out exactly what that one is, but I'll have to reference the numbers because they should be identical. Anyway, that's one of the sliders, I think. There's another thing here, and then there's another thing here. Yeah, I'm 100% sure that's everything. Nice little $500 mistake on my behalf again because I was sissy shifting. Oh, some stickers. Just some G-Force stickers. Thanks, guys. What else we got here? We've got another parcel. This, I believe, is to do with the alternator kit that we were sort of having issues with. So CWC has sent me another kit. Now, reason behind this is because I didn't actually buy my kits from CWC, as you can see here. I bought them from Platinum Racing Products, and they actually supplied the wrong hardware for it. So CWC seen my video and they said, look man, we want to give you the right stuff, and obviously I want the blackout stuff, like the black bolts. So they've sent me the right stuff now, and I'm going to go over the whole process of that again with the RBM3. And yeah, they actually give you instructions, everything. It's real simple. What I did was correct, but I just didn't have the correct bolts and stuff. So if you're after this kit, hit up CWC. I'm hopefully going to talk to them about getting you guys a discount code maybe, and yeah, we'll go from there. But thank you guys for that. I'm going to do another video on the RBM3 installing that stuff. So now we have everything we need to start rebuilding the Sonvia engine. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get straight to the point, guys. I've got plastic gauge, which is stuff you use to measure the bearings. We'll get all these out. I'm going to get the crank out, clean everything, and get cracking. So let's get into it. First things first, I'll pull this girdle back off again, and I'll rip the oil pump off. So to do that, I've got to loosen the timing belt. It's already at top dead center, so I'll loosen the timing belt. That looks like it's been wearing a bit weird, but no, she's right. Yeah, take that off and rip the oil pump off. And today we'll go over re-shimming that. So that should be pretty interesting. And then I'll get the crank out, clean everything, make sure there's no oil, no debris, nothing. And then we'll put it back in, and I'll use this plastic gauge, which I just picked up for $5. This stuff here, never actually used it in my life, but as far as I know, you put a little bit on the center of each bearing for obviously the mains, or all of them, and you torque it down to spec the correct way through the manual, the Nissan manual, and then you pull it all off again and run the measurement on the side of like that piece of paper, just here, and you put, and however much it squishes to is what your measurement's at. So I think I need it at 0.025 of a millimeter, and as long as it comes up to spec, it's gonna be sweet. I think I gotta go over everything to make sure I know what I'm doing, but I can definitely see this is gonna take me the entire day, because I'll be double checking, triple checking to make sure I get it all right. But it's pretty exciting. I'm not gonna film everything, guys. I'll cut right to the points of everything, because I really just want to get stuck into it and listen to some tunes. So hope you don't mind. We'll let's get into it. Alright, so there's been a change of plans. I've just pulled the oil pump off. It's just a heap of 10mm bolts that go around here. You can see where that was. And I have noticed, you can see on the crank here, there's probably like 3mm of where the contact patch is for the actual oil pump. Now, I really hope this can focus, but you see that shiny bit there on the flat surface of the drive? That is all that contacts the oil pump. And you can tell that is worn. Not massively, but enough to give me a big enough concern that I want to put a snout on this now. So what I've done, I've rang Remax. They're a machine engine building shop just literally down the road from me. They have done a lot of my engines in the past, and honestly, can't fault them. They've been freaking unreal. So I've just hit them up and asked them how much it would cost me to get a snout put on ASAP. So it's literally what we did with the RB30 build. You would have seen that Darren actually sends his to Remax to get machined with their obviously precise machining that they've got, their lathe or whatever it is. So I've got to quickly rip this out. I'm going to run down there and I'm going to see if I can pay extra to try and get it rushed and try and get it back in my hands tomorrow. Now they are flat out, so if they can do this, huge thank you to Remax. So yeah, fingers crossed, guys. But now I just got to rip this out real quick. So I just buzz all these rod bolts off, and yeah, rip the crank out, run it down there, and obviously take the back plate off. So I got to get cracking. Alright guys, I got down to Remax and dropped the crank off. They said they're gonna do everything they can to rush it in and get it back to me by tomorrow. So fingers crossed that happens. They said if they can't get around to it, I'll more than likely just go and grab the crank back and use it how it is with the standard snout. Like I really don't want to, but if I want to get to the Supercars event next Friday night, I'm gonna have to be pretty quick with what I'm doing. And yeah, I really just want to get this back running, but they should be sweet. They should be able to get done by tomorrow. So in the meantime, we have the oil pump to work on. So this is a dead stock Neo oil pump. Absolutely nothing fancy about this thing whatsoever. Good thing to check is the wear on the front from the plate that holds the timing belt away. If it's bent or whatever, this will chew out pretty bad on here, but the housing's all good there. The front main seal, I'm going to replace that. I freaking hope I have one here. I know I've got a rear main still, but yeah, I really hope I've got a front one as well. Anyway, I'm going to buzz these off to look at the gears on the inside, and hopefully there's not any cracks or anything silly like that, but yeah, I'll quickly buzz that off. Okay, these are Phillips head, obviously, and they will be ridiculously tight. So I don't know if I'm going to get them. Yeah, no. Okay. I'm going to have to almost put this in a vise, I think, if I want to try and get these out. Well, that was bloody interesting. I broke 2 Phillips heads. This ended up being the Phillips head that I got the last one out with. So I don't really want to put these screws back in, to be honest, because they are munted. I don't know if you can see, but yeah. I think there's someone out there that makes a replacement kit and they turn into like Allen key hex frickin' majiggies. So these are really frickin' tight, and for good reason, because obviously they don't want to come out from factory. So I'll quickly just get these out and we'll have a look at the gears. They should be pretty sweet because yeah, I don't sit on limiter that much. As far as I know, these 2 dots just simplify the fact that they should be both facing that way. Like, it's pretty obvious what way it should be going, but they don't have to be lined up because it eventually just slowly moves around to where it's meant to be. But there's a lot of junk in here. Like, that is not a smooth. That's really bad. But yeah, I'll clean all that up. Surface looks pretty good, it's not worn. In here looks all good. I'm just gonna see what I have to do with the pressure relief valve here now. So let's give a quick buzz to my mates at Power Tune. I'll ring Chia and we'll see what we can do there. Okay, so I pulled the pressure relief bolt or nut out, and what is inside here is a spring, which also has another little spring inside of it, if that slides out, see that? And that pretty much regulates the pressure or the amount of PSI that gets fed through into the engine, because it, you know, spins around here, through there, you know, it does all the cool stuff. Anyway, what I'm going to be doing, now this information has been fed from PowerTune. This is a way of upping your oil pressure, but you have to be careful that your engine is capable of withstanding it. Like, I'm going to put a millimeter washer in here, so it's literally going to put pressure like in there. It's going to push more pressure on the spring to give it more PSI of oil pressure into the engine. Now you have to make sure you've got oil, extra oil in the sump to be able to do this, and then you also have to have the capabilities of the head being able to send all the oil back down into the sump. Long story short, do not do this to a standard engine. You will completely empty the bottom end, and then you'll have no oil pressure, and your head will fill up and it will blow all this oil out into the catch can or whatever setup you have. So my engine is going to be designed very well to withstand this extra PSI. And you guys know from the event that I had, the reason why I'm doing this is because my oil pressure was dropping very low as 40 psi at 8,000 RPM, which is way too low. And we were lucky the Motec was cutting it out and saving the engine for us. So that is why this engine's been stripped down. I'm doing the bearings and all that stuff's happening. So this little feature we're doing to the oil pump is a very, what would you say, backyard way of doing it, I suppose. But it does work. You just got to be very careful. Like, you put 2 washers in there, it's going to bump the pressure up way too high, and you'll start blowing seals out the engine. Like, just things can go very badly messing with this stuff. So I highly recommend not to do it yourself unless you really have everything in place to combat it. Leave it to the guys at PowerTune or the workshops that actually do this stuff for a living. So this is a good test, obviously, for me and for you guys to see how it goes. I'm your test bunny, but yeah, it should be good. I just want to get it freaking running now. So I'll get a little washer, I'll sit it right in there. I'm going to make sure the washer's only 1 mil, and then put it all back together and put this back in. This thing's sweet, good to go. I just need to get that front main seal. So the washer I'm going to be using is 1.1 mil thick. So, you know, it's close to 1 mil. Just bop it in there so it sits perfect. And then this spring here is just going to sit right on top of it. So just quickly guys, there's a few little marks on the surface of this plate. So this plate holds the actual gears in. And I have actually had an oil pump in the past where it was ground down that much that it would suck air. Like, I don't know how I can explain that better, but because there was no clean surface here, it was picking up air when you randomly start it every now and then. There'd be no oil pressure for a while, and then it kicks in out of nowhere. So I don't really like this. I'm going to see if I have another pump lying around. Well, here's one I prepared earlier. Just found this one. I reckon this one's got billet gears in it too. So I might have hit the jackpot here. Okay guys, I figured it out, I think. Now, see the arch over the top of these gears? They're like the same sort of thing. Like there's no gaps or clearances or anything. Like it's just completely flush. Now the gears that come out, however, when they're completely flat, see how the curve's completely different? These are like an N1 design, and I had a look online, and Spool actually make these gears in steel or billet, whatever you want to call it. So my engine out the Sonny actually come with billet gears in the pump. So I'm going to put them back in. However, I'm going to steal this plate because it's not chewed up like this one. Change of plans again. It's completely freaking different. I'm starting to think this might be an N1 pump now. God, what am I doing? Not only am I confusing myself, I'm confusing all you guys out there. I'm sorry. But we're going to get through this. Okay, I've done a bit of research, and you guys don't have to comment. So, you guys chill. I figured it out. Standard RB25 pump. N1 pump, steel gears. So I've actually hit the jackpot, kind of, with this wrecker engine I've got. What I was led to believe when I bought this engine was it was basically a dead stock Neo with a head gasket. Turns out they've done the pump, they've done the billet gears, they have done the head gasket, and it also had studs in it. So for $1,000, I've got a bloody good engine. And now I'm doing bearings on it, it's going to be sweet. So this here, the only downside is the gouges. Whoa, wee, the gouges on the face of this plate. I'm going to run it. I hope I don't regret that, but it's not too bad. We'll get away with it. If it was any worse, I wouldn't run it. But considering this pump backing, the backing plate of that is completely different. It's only so how I figured out all this was pretty simple. Did a bit of research. This backing plate has 7 screws. This backing plate has 8. These gears have 11 frickin' things on it. This one has 12. So this is all standard. This is all N1 and billet and good. And loves limiter. So we want to put this one back on. So I'm putting that back together. Just wanted to let you guys know the differences and whatever else. But yep, I'm going to put that back together now. I'm going to Loctite all these. I'm not going to film it though. We'll be back. Not sure where I really left off. However, I finished cleaning a heap of the block and where the oil pump sits and the rear main seal housing where that sits. So everything's pretty much ready to go. So hopefully I'll get the crank back tomorrow and we can obviously start measuring using that plastic gauge and all that stuff, putting the bearings in and getting it all back together. Also got to make a quick visit down to Sleeker Spares to get some rear main seal, well the rear main seal and the front main seal, a few other bits and pieces. Gonna leave it there, but if we don't get the crank back tomorrow, we'll get cracking into the gearbox. And I'll make that a separate video on its own because that'll be pretty interesting. Just before I go though, just letting you guys know, we do have a small amount of merch left. Like, it's not heaps, but we won't be doing any more of the old stuff. So yeah, it's all stupidly cheap on the site now. So head to driftsquid.com, hit the merch button, and that'll take you through to all our merchandise, stickers and everything, and we will, fingers crossed, have the new hoodies up when you see this video. So thanks heaps for the support, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.